what are we looking at today? Today, we are going to look at the following. Sorry, pen is just going a bit flat. We're just going to charge it a little bit at the same time. So today, we are going to have a look at functions and relationships. So functions and relationships was actually the last thing that we looked at, all right, towards the end of term, okay? But today we're going to have a look at it and we're going to revise over functions and relationships and finish the concept off. And our test for this week is going to be on our concept that we did on Monday, which was number patterns, and today's concept, which is functions and relationships. So I'm going to make this a little bit bigger because I can see some people straining their eyes to be able to see. All right, so let's make it a little bit bigger for you guys. Okay, so some of the questions that we're going to do tonight are going to be word problems. So that's good practice for you to do in your word problems to make sure that you're getting practice for that. So question 1 says, how many seconds are in a minute? How many seconds are in a minute? How many seconds are in a minute? So I have a hand up already. Right, Himo. Himo, how many seconds are there in a minute?
Ma'am, there are 60 seconds in a minute.
Well done, Himo. There are 60 seconds in a minute. Let's see if our pen has enough charge on it yet to let us write. Yes. Okay, awesome. There are 60 seconds in a minute. And do you agree with me, Himo, that because it's a word problem, we're going to write 60 as a number and then seconds, hey?
Yes, ma'am.
Well done. Thank you so much. All right. My next question says, how many seconds will there be in 2 minutes? So how many seconds will there be in 2 minutes? Umar, how many seconds will there be in 2 minutes? Hi.
Ma'am, so what you do is 60 times 2, which you get 120 seconds. Or you can say 60 plus 60 and you get 120.
Fantastic. So either we're going to say 60 times 2, which gives me 120, great, or 60 plus 60, which is 120. How many seconds are in 3 minutes? And the person that had their hand up the quickest there was Sipo. Sipo, how many seconds are there in 3 minutes?
There's 180 seconds in 3 minutes because you go 60 times 3.
Fantastic. 180 seconds. Thank you, Sipo. Well done. Okay. Right. My next one. Okay, D. You guys already explained to me. So it says, explain how you found the answers for B and C. So you guys already explained to me. You said either you took 60 and you times it by 2, or you times it by 3, or you said 60 plus 60. And for C, you said 60 plus 60 plus 60, hey? So either, okay, so for B in this one, I'm going to do this. So either you can say 60 times 2 equals 120, and 60 times 3 equals 180, or 60 plus 60 equals 120, and 60 plus 60 plus 60 equals 180. Do you see how I'm explaining it, guys? Really nicely. I'm breaking it down for the person who's marking my work. Right. E. Can you write down a formula for the number of seconds for any number of minutes? So can you write down a formula for the number of seconds, S, for any number of minutes, M? So in other words, I want to see the following. I want to see S is equal to, and then a formula. So S is equal to what? S is equal to what? Who can give me a formula? Who can give me a formula? All right. Mulalo, Have you got an idea for me?
I said S equals to 60 times M.
Fantastic. Well done, Mulalo. S is equal to 60 times n. Fantastic, because we're going to say 60 times by the number of minutes. Well done. Thank you so much. All right. So we can say S is equal to 60 times by n. F says complete the table by using the formula you found in E. So the number of minutes, 1. Seconds were 60, so 60 times by 1. The number of minutes were 2. Seconds were 120. How did we get that? We said 60 times by 2. The number of minutes were 3. So 60 times by 3. And our seconds were 180. I'm going to give you a few minutes or a few seconds to go and complete that table. I've got Grace's hand up here. Grace, do you want to help me fill in this table?
Yes, Miss, can I please
Right.
help you fill in the table?
Let's go, Grace. What's number 4 going to be?
Miss, it's going to be the how to calculate it is 4 times 60 seconds. And
Good.
Miss, I used it I checked from the Watobe Wizard, and it has
Awesome.
the right answers from here.
Good. What does it say?
It says 60 seconds times 4 minutes equals 24 seconds, 240 seconds.
Amazing.
So, yes, Miss, thank
Well
you.
done. Well done. Thank you. Well done, Grace. Thank you for using Watobe Wizard. Well done. All right. Umpile, do you want to do the next one for me? What about 12 seconds?
Hi, Miss.
All right. Hi, Umpile. Let's go. What about 12 seconds? How am I going to do 12 seconds, Umpile?
Ma'am, I think you're going to do 60 times 12.
Good. 60 times 12. And what's 60 times 12, Umpile?
Ma'am, I think it'll give me 320. I think about 400.
Think
Can I
about
quickly check?
400. Yeah, you go check. So I'm going to do some multiplication here on the bottom. I'm going to go say 12 times by 60 here. Okay, so I'm going to put my 0 down. And I'm going to say 6 times 2. 6 times 2 gives me 12, so I'm going to put a 2. And then carry the 1.
Ma'am?
6 times 1 is 6. Plus the 1 gives me 7. I got 720. Is that right? What did you get?
Yeah. Ma'am, I got 520.
520. Are you sure?
Yes, ma'am, because like I first did 60 times 12, and then 2 times 0 is 0, and then 2 times 6 is 12, right? Then we add it together, and then we're gonna say 1 times 0 is 0, and then 6 times 1 is 6. And then, no, first we put the 0 before the 6, and then after that we add 0 plus 0 is 0. 2 plus 0 is 2. 6 plus 1, 6 plus 1 equals to 7. Oh,
You see how I did it? So I got 720.
20.
Okay, thank you so much, Mpile, for the help. All right, and finally, let's do the 30. Let's go with Jaden. Jaden, do you want to help me with the 30?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's go, Jaden.
So it's 60 times 6.
Good. So it's going to be
60 times 30, sorry.
60 times
30.
30. Good. And what do
Which
you get, Jaden?
1,800.
Fantastic. 1,800. So do you agree with me? You can either do long multiplication, so you can go do 60 times by 30, and you can do it that way. Or you can even ask the Watobe bot, am I right?
Yes.
And it'll help you do it as well. Hey, thank you. How did you do it, Jaden? What did you do?
All I did was 6 times 3, which is 18, and I added the 2 zeros.
Well done, Jaden. I would have done it that way as well. Well done. Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Jaden.
ma'am.
Okay, guys, so hopefully you have all managed to fill in that table. Let's have a look at our next section. So our next section says to us, look at the price of car rentals available at various dealerships. Okay, Awesome Autos has 1,000 Rand per day with 50 cents per kilometer driven. Big Boy Bucky's has 800 Rand per day with 60 cents per kilometer driven. And Shady Skadonks is 500 Rand per day with 1 Rand 20 per kilometer driven. So that is the advert that they have advertised for all the different car rental places. All right. Okay. Then they've gone and they've given us some formulas underneath there. So they've gone and they've given us a whole lot of formulas. So the first formula that they've got there says 800 plus distance times 0,5, then 500 plus distance times 12, 1,000 plus distance times 0,5, 500 plus distance times 1,2, okay, 800 plus distance times 0,6, and 1,000 plus distance times 50. All right, hopefully you've all been able to read that. Let's see if we can put it all on the screen for you. It goes a little bit small. Which of the formulae above can be used to calculate the price per day for a car from Big Boy Bucky's? All right, so Big Boy Bucky's, let's go have a look at what they said again. Big Boy Bucky's was 800 Rand per day plus 60 cents per kilometer driven. Okay, Big Boy Bucky's was 800 Rand per day plus 60 cents per kilometer driven. I'm going to go give these some numbers for you guys, so it makes it a little bit easier when you're answering. I'm going to call this A, this one B, this one C, D, E, and F. All right, I'm going to go name those for you guys. And what I want you to do is I want you to match that one up for me. The next one says, which of the following formulae can be used to calculate the price per day for a car from Awesome Autos? And finally, which of the following formulae can be used to calculate the price per day for a car from Shady Skadonks? All right, so what you guys are going to do is you're going to have a look at those formulae, and you are going to match the formulae to the different labels. Okay, so you're going to look at the different car dealerships. All right, you're going to look at the different car dealerships. You're going to look at the formulas. All right, you're going to give yourself some time. Okay, and you're going to go and try and match them. I want you to have a look. Do not write the answers yet in the chat. Right, give everybody a chance to have a look first. So go and have a look, think about it, okay, think about it, and go and have a look at matching them up. Go have a look at matching them up first. All right, give yourself a little bit of time. Okay, give yourself a little bit of time. All right, I'm going to give you 1 more minute to match them up. One more minute to match them up. Okay. 1 more minute. All right. Okay. So, Mulalo, you have had your hand up the whole time. So, Mulalo, can you tell me, Mulalo, which of the formula is used to calculate the price per day for big boy buckies?
So for big boy buckies, I first turned the cents per kilometer driven into a decimal, and I got 0.5, and then so for A, I said the answer was E. No, I got 0.6.
Good, 0.6, good. I nearly tricked you, hey? 0.6, good. So you said E, well done. So well done, Mulalo. So Mulalo went and said for A, okay, we're looking at big boy buckies. So the first thing Mulalo said to me is that they went and they changed 60 cents to 0.6. Well done. That's exactly what I would have done. I would have gone and said that 60 cents is the same thing as saying 0.6, because 800 Rand, we're dealing in rands, and so we want to make the cents into 0.6. Well done. So that means that when I'm looking at a formula, I'm going to look at E. I'm going to say that price is going to be equal to 800 plus distance times by 0.6. Well done. That's amazing. Well done. Okay. Umar, you had your hand up next. Umar, do you want to help me with awesome motors?
Ma'am, I wanted to show you another way for calculating multiplication.
Okay, tell me.
Ma'am, may you please scroll up a bit so I can?
Of course, sure.
So, ma'am, let's do an example, 60 times 30. So what you can do is 6 times 3, which is equals to 18. And then you count the amount of zeros there, and then you put 2 zeros.
Well done. Thank you, Amar. You are absolutely right. That is another way to do it. Thank you. So Amar was saying now he wants to show us a different way of doing multiplication. He said you do 6 times by the 3 and you get 18. And you count the number of zeros. There's 2 zeros, so it would be 18 and then 2 zeros. Thank you so much, Amar. You are absolutely right. Thank you. Okay, Jaden. Jaden, are you going to help me work out which formula was for awesome autos?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, talk to me, Jaden.
So for awesome autos, ma'am, it's A. No, not A. It's E.
Are you sure awesome autos?
Oh no. It's C.
Good, it's C. Well done. So it's going to be price is equal to 1,000 because of 1,000 Rand plus distance And what did you do with the 50 cents? You changed it to 0,
0.5.
well done, because it's 50 cents and we're dealing with rands, so we changed it to cents. Well done, Jaden. Thank you so much. All right, and let us have a look at our last one. So our last one is Shady Skadonks. Okay, so for Shady Skadonks, let's have a look at what's happening with Shady Skadonks. So it's 500 Rand per day. It's 1,2, so 1 Rand 20, 1,2. So this one's quite nice because we don't have to go and change 60 cents into 0,6 this time, or 50 cents into 0,5. It's already in a decimal, hey? Already in a decimal. All right, so this one is quite nice already. Okay, no cents, no working with rands and cents this time. Okay, it's already in a decimal. So I'm going to do this one quickly for us. So we're looking for the one that's got 500 plus distance times 1,2. So that's going to be D. So I'm going to have P is equal to 500 plus distance times by 1,2. So just a reminder, guys, when you are working with formulas, you want to make sure that you are working with all the same thing. So if you are working with rands, okay, if you're working with rands, you want to make sure, okay, that you've got everything in rands. So when we had awesome autos before, we could see that this part of the sentence was in cents. How do we get the cents into rands? We must convert it by dividing by 100. When we divide this by 100, it gives us 0,6. All right. Sorry, 0, apologies, 0,5. The same as here. What do we see? We see that this here is 60 cents. If we want to put cents into rands, what must we do? We must divide it by 100. Okay, we must divide it by 100. And what happens when we divide it by 100? It turns into rands, and it becomes rands 0,6. All right. So moving to the next one now, it says D, complete the table of prices to see how the distance you travel in a day affects the cost of renting a car. You may use a calculator for this answer. So they're being really kind to us. They're letting us use a calculator. Okay, I'm going to do the first one with you guys. So if we're looking at awesome autos, here is my formula for awesome autos over here. So each time I'm going to say 1,000 plus the distance that we're traveling times by 0,5. Okay, I'm going to see if I can bring my calculator up on the screen for you guys. Let's bring my calculator up and let's see if my screen will let me. I'm going to try and make it a bit smaller and bring my calculator across for you guys. Okay, let's do that. There we go. All right, so I'm going to go and say my distance. I'm going to do my multiplication first because my calculator in BOD mass, when we have BOD mass, what happens? I must do my brackets first, then of, then I must do divide. There's no divide in my sum. Then I must do multiply. So the first thing I'm going to go do is I'm going to go and I'm going to multiply. So I'm going to take my distance, which is 10, and I'm going to multiply it by my 0.5. Okay, so I've done my multiplication. Then BODMAS says to me that I must add. So then I must add 1 equals. And this will give me 1,005. Okay, let me just double check my answer doesn't seem right here. So 10 times by 0.5. Oh, it is right. Okay. For my next one, I'm going to say 50 because it gave me 50 kilometers times by 0.5 plus 1,000, and that gives me 1,025. My next one, I say my distance, which is 150 times by 0.5 plus 1,000 gives me 2,075. And finally, my distance, which is 500 times by 0.5 plus 1,000 plus 1,000. Oh my goodness, my calculator is doing strange things, guys. So let's start again. No, it's really doing strange things now. So my distance, which is 500 times by 0.5 plus 1,000 equals 1,250. So I can already see my calculator did some strange things with this one. So let's go fix this one quickly. So let's do this one again. 150 times by 0.5 plus 1,000, 1,075. All right, so you guys are going to go fill in your tables now using your formulas. Remember to use BODMAS, please. Remember to use BODMAS. The formulas are written down there for you. Remember to use the correct formulas. Remember to use the correct formulas and go and fill in your tables. Go and fill in your tables. Okay.
Guys, you are doing excellent tonight. Well done. Keep up all the hard work. Remember, when it comes to these word problems, the most difficult is reading carefully, guys. We need to always read carefully. Right now, today, we have teacher Kirsty reading for us. But whenever you do this for homework, or if you get this in an exam, you're going to have to read yourself. And the only problem that you'll run into or mistake that you'll make is if you don't read carefully. For the rest, it's actually quite easy. Remember to read carefully when we do these word problems. When you're trying it yourself now, make sure you read.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Hugo. Absolutely. That's the problem I always used to have in word problems. I don't know about you, Mr. Hugo.
Exactly. That's the most difficult. I usually read them 3 or 4 times, and once I have a clear picture of what to do, it takes 2 seconds to actually answer the question, but you need to read, and that takes long. Reading and making sure what you need to answer and what you need to do. If you understand that, if you read properly, then it's going to be super quick working it out. But reading is what takes the longest when you're doing word problems. Always remember that, and don't feel bad if you have to read the question 5 times, because that was the case with me.
All right. Oh, I'm seeing somebody's making all sorts of hand signals at the camera here and trying to get our attention. Let's have a look. Who is trying to get our Ompile? Ompile, are you trying to get our attention because you want to answer, or are you trying to get our attention because you want a question, do you think, Mr. Hugo?
I think she wants to answer. I think she probably
You think she wants to answer?
Yeah, I think she read the question properly, and now she's wanting to answer. She wants to be
Awesome.
first in line.
Okay, let's try Ompile because she's super excited. Ompile. Hi, Ompile. All right,
Ma'am, I
Ompile.
wanted to ask a question.
Okay, talk to me. What's your question,
Ma'am?
Ompile?
Ma'am, I wanted to ask if, like, when you get these cases where they say distance, right, ma'am? Like, where do we get them? Oh,
Where do
from
you-
here on top. From a... Hey,
Sorry, Ompile, I
sorry,
can't
ma'am.
hear you, my love.
Sorry, ma'am. It's because of my baby brother that he's irritating me.
That's okay. Say it again.
Ma'am, I wanted to say that from these ones where they say from the where the distance is from by the big boy back, he's shady crack donks. We get them from here, from the top place.
Yes, that's it. That's right, Ompile.
Oh, thanks, ma'am.
You're welcome. All right. Okay, guys, we're running out of time, so I'm going to fill this table in for you. Thank you so much for everybody who put their hands up, but let's fill in the table quickly together. So let's go and have a look at the right answers. So for big boy buckies, we should have had 806, 830, 890, and 1100. If I make any mistakes, please put it in the chat for me and let me know. For shady skadonks, I should have had 512, 560, 680, and again 1100. So if you disagree with my questions, please put it in the chat for me. Okay, so I want to make sure that you guys understand where to find your videos. All right, so if you heard this before, follow on with us anyway. What Mr. Hugo is going to do is he is going to put the link for the quiz in the meantime for you guys in the chat. And while if you have heard our talk about how to get to the videos before, okay, then you are more than welcome to stay on, because I will take any questions that you might have after this. And also, it's always good to watch anyway how to find the videos, because maybe you've forgotten and you want to take some screenshots again. Yes, there is definitely a quiz for those people asking. No, there is not a poll. The poll was on Monday night, but there definitely is a quiz, and make sure you do the quiz. Tara James just said she did the quiz and got full marks. Well done, Tara Jane. So let's have a look and let's have a little bit of a brain break. How do you find the videos? Either you can go to Watobe's website and you can find the videos there, or what you can do is you can go to YouTube. So if you go to YouTube, all right, and you search for Watobe, right, you will find a Watobe image. So it looks like a little fire, okay, like a little fire image, and you click on that. All right. Once you get there, you click on playlists. Okay, so you click on playlists. All right, so it looks like this. There's playlists over there. Okay, you scroll all the way to the bottom to where it says 2023 grade 7 to view the grade 7 lessons. So all the way to the bottom, our lessons are in this beautiful green color. Love the green. So that's where you'll find our grade 7 lessons. So I'm going to do it for you now so that you can see that they are all there. I'm going to bring my internet across for you guys so you can have a look. There we go. Okay, let's open up a new screen. I'm going to go to YouTube. All right, we're going to search for Watobe. Whoopsie daisy. Watobe. All right, there's the little image that I told you to search for. We click on playlists and we go all the way down to the bottom to hit grade 7. Okay. Once you get to grade 7, you can go then and you can go through and select any of the topics that we've gone over from before. So let's say you're a little bit unsure about integers and subtracting integers. Into the integers lesson we go. And there is a whole lesson on integers. All right, so they are all there for you, everybody. All your lessons from the beginning of this year all the way up to the date. So for those of you who sometimes come late to a lesson or you're not sure, or maybe you're still confused about a question, everything is recorded on the Watobe website and it's also online. Another reminder about Watobe Bot. So Watobe Bot, such a powerful tool. You can ask it questions, it'll explain it to you really, really nicely. It'll go through the questions really slowly for you, break down the answers and help you there as well. All right. I see that I have some questions left here. Please go back and do your quiz. Mr. Hugo has put it into the chat. I'm going to answer if anybody else has any questions. So I'm going to stay online and answer any questions that people may have. Otherwise, please go do your quiz. Have a really good last day of school for those of you who are finishing this week. Mr. Hugo, is there anything else that you want to speak about?
I have nothing to add. I just want to say thank you, everybody, and well done to everybody that achieved math marks, even if you just improved. Well done, and well done for being in every class this term. Thank you, guys. We look forward to next term.
Well done. Look forward to next term. For those of you who are coming back in the holidays, see you next week. All right. Tamian, do you have a question for us?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, how can I help?
Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, I can hear you. What's your question?
I didn't really understand number A.
Number A. In this one here, Tamian?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what don't you understand?
I don't understand how you add up the distance and the price and the distance.
How you add up the price and the distance, as in how you got the formula or how we got the answers in the block?
Yes, ma'am.
Which part, Tamian? How you got the formula?
The formula.
The formula. Okay,
Yes,
Tamian, so let's go see. So for the formula, Tamian, all right, I'm just going to go erase it quickly. All right, so if anybody else is asking me about the formula, please make sure you're paying attention now because I'm only going to go through it once. Okay, so I'm looking for big boy buckies. So let's go to big boy buckies, Tamian. So for big boy buckies, I see that this is in rands. Do you agree that that's in rands?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what about this? What is this in?
Cents.
Cents. Can I add rand and cents together?
No, ma'am.
No, not really. Hey, so what do I need to do with those cents?
change them.
I need to change them. So how can I change that cents and make it into rands? What can I do?
You're gonna say 0.6.
I'm going to say 0.6. Good. All right. So it says, Big Boy Bucky charges 800 Rand a day. So every day that you have the Bucky, it costs you 800 Rand. Do you agree?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then, all right, it costs 60 cents per kilometer that you drive. So if you drive 1 kilometer, they're going to say 0.6 times by 1 kilometer. If you drive 50 kilometers, they're going to say 0.6 times 50 kilometers, hey?
Yes, ma'am.
So for the day, what's going to happen? For the day, they're going to say, okay, thank you very much. Pay us 800 Rand plus how many kilometers did you drive today? Let's say you drove 100 kilometers times by 0.6. Do you agree?
Yes, ma'am.
So is 800 Rand ever going to change?
It's
not,
please
hey?
repeat that.
Is 800 Rand ever going to change? It's not, hey? 800 Rand is going to stay the same. Every day you're going to pay 800, 800, 8. So 800 is never going to change. Do you agree?
Yes, ma'am.
But what's going to happen to the 60 cents? That's going to change depending on the number of kilometers that you drive, hey?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So if I'm looking now for which formula to use, they've got 800 times distance times 0.5. I know that that one's not right. Do you agree?
Yes, ma'am.
Then they've got 1,000 plus distance times 0.5. I know that that one's not right either.
Yes, ma'am.
Then they've got 800, so the 800 is right, plus distance times 0.6. Will that one work?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So it's going to be, for A, it's going to be price is equal to 800 plus the distance times by 0.6.
6.
Does it make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for your question.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, Dimple, I feel like I didn't hear from you all night. Dimple, what's your question?
Ma'am, I don't
Yes.
understand the table of the big boys buckies.
Big Boys Buckies. Okay, Dimple, let's go have a look. I'm just trying to see if I can move this off my screen. There we go. Okay, Dimple, so Big Boy Bucky. All right. So here is Big Boy Bucky, Dimple.
Yes, sir.
All right. So for Big Boy Bucky, it's 800 plus the distance times 0.6. So if I look at the distance, I'm going to make this a little bit smaller so that we can use the calculator. Okay, there's my calculator, huh? Have you got a calculator with you?
No, ma'am.
Oh dear, that's okay. So you might need to use a calculator. You can do it by doing it by writing on a piece of paper. It will work as well. All right, you just got to do some calculations. That's all. But using the calculator is going to be a little bit easier, hey? All right. So I'm going to say the distance is 10. So I'm going to say 10 times by 0.6 equals plus 800. And so my first number is going to be
806.
806. All right, then my next one, I'm going to say 50 times by 0.6, and that gives me 30. And 30 plus 800 gives me 830. And then I would say 150 times 0.6 gives me 90. And 90 plus 800 gives me 890. And then I would say 500 times 0.6 gives me 300. And 300 plus 800 gives me 1,100.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm just fully in the table. That's all I'm doing. Same as how we've been doing. Remember last week when we did number patterns? Or
Yes,
Monday?
ma'am.
Same
Yeah, we
thing.
did. Ah,
Same thing. Just this time we got decimals, that's all. So it makes it seem a little bit harder. Just a little bit because it's got a decimal, that's all.
yes, ma'am.
Am I right? And decimals always make things seem harder, am I right?
Yes, very much.
Yeah, very much. I agree with you, always. Okay. So just remember, it's the same thing. It's just that it's got a decimal in it, okay? All right.
Thank
Thanks, Dimple. All right, guys. Unfortunately, we've come to the end of our lesson.